All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is 2 o'clock sharp, which means guess what? It is time for the Thursday edition of 2 p.m. Sales Espresso Shot. Today, we're going to be dropping the F-bomb. It's going to be the most profanity-laden 15 minutes of your life. No, I'm kidding. That's really not what it's going to be about. So, dropping the F-bomb. What in the world do I mean by that? Well, before we go into that, a couple of things. I did have some new time or some first timers register for this one. So I am Skip Wilcox. If you're not connected with me, please scan the QR code and let's connect on LinkedIn or wherever. And if you are not a first time attendee and we still haven't connected yet, please also do that. All right. You can see the guy in the picture is the same guy that's talking. So, hey, you know what? You're at the right spot. All right. Well, let's get right into it. Dropping the F-bomb. Well, today we're going to not talk about actually saying words like you would be if you were dropping the F-bomb. All right. Today we're going to talk about dropping them as in getting rid of them. Okay. And the first thing that we want to talk about today is the concept that words sell. And weak words will always kill your deals. Okay. It's inevitable. What comes out of your mouth is always going to be the most important thing. Not how you look, not how you act. It's going to be the words. Now, of course, we're just talking about in a sales setting, okay? But how you speak is going to be your brand. That's gonna be when, I mean, take all social media aside, right? How you speak is going to be your brand, not your company's brand. I'm talking about you personally, your brand. So that's why we have to be particularly careful when we choose our words. All right. Every word that you use in a sales transaction, guys, is going to either add some clarity to the conversation, push it forward, or it's going to leave more questions than it does answers. It's going to cause confusion. It's going to cause thoughts that pop into your customers' minds that may not have anything to do with what you're trying to tell. Word choice matters. Okay. But why is that? Well, word choice is important because using weak words makes you sound unsure, makes you sound less confident. And in a lot of instances, it can make you sound like you're full of crap. All right, and we definitely don't want that. We have enough of that to get through as salespeople. And it can also make you sound unimportant. You're saying, "Well, Skip, good God, what words are we talking about here, right? What kind of things could we possibly be referring to?" Well, let's get into it. All right, we've got some big offenders here. We got some big offenders. And here's the F bomb. This is my personal least favorite. If I ever get an email that says, "Hey, I'm just following up with you," you know what that really means? That means that they have nothing new to add to the conversation. And guess what, guys? Everybody on this call has done this from time to time, including myself. All right. Just following up is the worst, most generic, weakest language that you can possibly do. Now, this can be in terms of reaching out to a prospect or to a potential referral partner. You haven't heard something from somebody, or you're awaiting a decision. The last thing you want to do is say, "Hey, I'm just following up on proposal ABC." No, 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 no. We're not just following up. Second biggest one, and there are a thousand of these, but these are my personal favorites, or I guess least favorites. Just touching base, getting a voicemail. "Hey, Skip, I'm just touching base on project A." What does that mean? Okay, no, no, no. You're wasting the other person's time. All right, so I guess we're dropping a T bomb there, right? But just touching base, take those out of your vocabulary as salespeople. And circling back. Now, this one can go into the corporate jargon as well, but I mean, what the hell does this even mean? I mean, I'm just trying to circle back on this. Or, of course, the favorite is at the end of the year. Well, how about you just circle back with me in January? What? What? No, no, we're not circling. We're not. I mean, what are we, buzzards? Are we going to be circling a dead deal? Like, no, circling back. Take it out. Take it out, guys. And this one is interesting because we all do this from time to time, especially my callers that are in the South that we're trained to be super polite as kids growing up here, the whole Southern hospitality thing, but it's not just here, right? The word just in front of anything. And what do I mean by that? When you say, "Hey, Skip, I'm just calling to see how we stand on X," or how about do you just have a second? Or if you're an LO and you're asking for documentation from your borrowers, you're trying to say something like, "Hey, well, I just need a pay stub. I just need one more pay stub." All right, that does not sound good. You think it's sounding like you're trying to downplay it and make it like it's not a big deal to the borrowers. Well, it is a big deal, right? An additional piece of documentation could mean the difference between approval, not approval. All right, you're asking them to do something. It is something of substance. So if you put just in front of it, it takes the urgency out. And essentially says, I don't really have any urgency about it, so you shouldn't either. If you downplay it, things typically don't get done in a timely fashion. And starting off an email, we all see the jokes and the memes about the emails, right? You see, well, I hope this email finds you well. Hey, hope you're doing well. Well, of course, I hope you're doing well. Well, I mean, what kind of ass do you think I am? That goes without saying. Don't waste people's time in written communication with, "Hey, hope you're doing well." No, just get to the point. Just get to the point. I mean, if you don't think that they're doing well, you should probably leave that out too. That's not gonna get you anywhere. It's not gonna get you what you want, right? These are just a few examples of a running theme of words that we use all the time in business and sales in particular, especially the following up, touching base, just checking to see. Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even put that on here. Just checking on this. Yeah, no, 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 you're not. Not anymore. Not after this call, okay? So we're going to try and remove these from our everyday vocabulary. You will be shocked how much more people are willing to work with you on things and do what you need them to do if we take some of these meaningless words out of it. We drop these out of our vocabulary. All right. So instead of all those, let's look at some alternatives. All right, guys, let's look at some good alternatives. Instead of saying, let's go back to the list. So just following up, right? Instead, say, "Hey, I want to reconnect on ABC." Or instead of, "Hey, I'm just circling back, just checking in on this." Hey, let's move forward with Project XYZ. You can see the difference. And for those of you on the call that were in my webinar a few weeks ago about taking assertive language and using that more and dropping the more passive language, these new responses that we should really replace with all of the empty words that I just mentioned before really adhere to that. It's more assertive, it's more meaningful, it sounds less like you're just everybody else, too. All right. Another good example is, here is the next step I recommend on this project, instead of saying, "Hey, I'm just following up on this," you know. Um, or, "Hey, let's schedule a decision, or let's schedule an update call on Project B." This is a great thing, especially if you had a meeting, you're trying to follow up with, say, a realtor, and y'all talked about a particular deal, and they're ghosting you. You want to know what it is, right? So hey, let's schedule a decision, or excuse me, let's schedule an update call on this. You can see the difference. Before we had passive, all right, and now we have more assertive and actionable words. All right, really want y'all, after you get off this call today, to sit down and think about things that you say every day that could fall into these same types of categories, and really kind of see which ones you can take out and replace, because like I said before, our words matter. All right. So best practices when you're doing that exercise, obviously we want to be direct. All right. Focus on the outcome. What do you want to get out of this communication with the other person? Are after they walk away or they close out the email or whatever it happens to be, are they going to have a clear idea of what you want? Or are you just following up, which has no urgency, no specific information requested, no actions to be taken? Are you focusing on something happening? All right. And use the other person's language. I can't emphasize this enough. This not only applies to what we're talking about today, but to everything else in sales as well. Be really careful about how you are choosing your words. Drop the words that are jargon or particular to your industry. If you're a mortgage professional, we got more acronyms than we know what to do with, right? The last thing that we want to do is put those words in a communication with a borrower or those abbreviations communication with a borrower because it's not going to resonate with them. It's not going to connect. And so it's going to glaze over the eyes and they're more, or excuse me, they're less likely to respond to it. So use the other person's language and always focus on the next steps. When we're dropping these terrible empty words, they don't lead to real next steps. It's implied. If you're just following up with somebody, that means that you want to see if they're going to say yes, right? Well, instead, ask them the question that you really want the answer to. You know, instead of leaving things out in limbo and floating around, always use words that lead to next steps. All right, let's just go back and look at a good example real quick before we end. We've got, hey, I'm following up on ABC. Don't forget, that has nothing new, just following up. All right, what does that not do? Well, it's not direct. It does not focus on outcomes. It doesn't use the other person's language because it doesn't really use any kind of language except for English, which is not what you're trying to do. And it doesn't lead to next steps. So if your word choices when you are following up, not just following up, but whenever you are sending something to someone else about a particular project, use this as your guide. All right. If it checks all four of the boxes, hey, go ahead and send it. If it doesn't, maybe you need to say, is there something that I'm sending out, or is there something in my language and word choice that is not getting the desired outcomes that I want? All right. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. It's 2:12. But wait, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. I did forget. We do have some other offenders. Apologizing for email or calling. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Or, hey, have I caught you at a bad time? No, 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 no. You don't apologize for it. If you have something important, then by God, don't apologize for it. All right. Hey, I just got a quick question. Okay. How many of y'all have had that 1,000 times a day? We don't want that. Stop using it. All right. Hey, this is another good one that can also fall under the corporate jargon. Hey, can you just hop on a quick call with me? We do that. We think we're trying to sound all easygoing and not trying to upset anybody or not trying to make it sound like it's going to be the end of the world. But what you're really doing is you're minimizing the importance of whatever the message is, whatever the content of that conversation is going to have. All right. Which is why people, whenever you say, hey, can you hop on a quick call with me? As opposed to, please call me at 2 p.m. You get that one, you're like, oh God, like what happened? Am I in trouble? Because it has different gravitas with it, right? Well, guess what? Moving your sales forward and connecting in a sales environment is important, and we want it to have or to carry weight with it as far as your words go. And pop it into somebody's office. I always love this one. Hey, you got a second? Got a second? Got a second? What? What do you want? If it's that important, then set a meeting for it. All right. Shoot an email. Saying got a second will inevitably lead to a meeting that takes at least 5 minutes, more times than not, right? Let's stop using these words and start saying things that matter. Okay. But yeah, go back through, ask yourself that four-part test for your word choice, and see how much better response you get from all of your outreach. All right, guys, brief survey. I know y'all don't like filling out surveys. Please do it. It's the only way I can get better. All right. I'm going to leave this up here for just a second. Scan it with your phone. Take 2 minutes to answer the questions. I would tremendously appreciate it. I will be sending out the link to the recording of this one this afternoon at some point. And if you like this content, you've liked what you've heard so far, and you want to get into more details about it, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to schedule an exploratory call to see what particular topics that you guys or your teams need work with. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Next week, the call is going to be on Friday. I'll be out of town doing a training the middle of the week. So it will be on Friday, and I'm actually going to have a guest. So it's going to be kind of a cool back and forth. We're going to do a little bit of a role play and question and answer with somebody to see if we can generate you some more referral partners. But I'm going to send out more information about that later. Until then, y'all have a great day. Thanks.